explosion has rocked downtown Sun Prairie.
Could see flames. You could see a lot of smoke.
There was this big boom, and it knocked me to the ground.
You can see a group of about a dozen people who have been displaced, lost everything that day.
So sorry.
We have learned within the last hour, one of those members died fighting the fire.
That firefighter's name is Corey Barr.
You've never met a more devoted father.
Luckiest girl in the world to have met someone like him.
We will continue to build strength with Corey's legacy in our hearts.
It has been just a great outpouring of support.
We really need the power of the community to help out.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are raising thousands of dollars right now for the victims of last week's deadly gas explosion in Sun Prairie. This is a look at our phone bank for the Sun Prairie Strong Telethon.
100% of the money raised stays in the Sun Prairie community. If you want to donate, please call 608-274-4000 or visit channel3000.com. It is often said that tough times can make or break a person. And since last Tuesday, we've seen signs of strength all over Sun Prairie.
Today marks 1 week since that deadly gas explosion took place in the heart of downtown. The explosion destroying 7 buildings and killing 1 person, Captain Corey Barr with the Sun Prairie Fire Department. Barr leaves behind a wife and twin 3-year-old daughters. Since his passing and the explosion, many people have reached out to us here at News 3 asking how they can help. We have live team coverage as people become Sun Prairie strong.
Our crews are in Sun Prairie, and we have volunteers here at our phone bank ready to take your calls. We start with Leah Lynchide, who's live in Studio C with how the effort is going.
Hi, folks. Oh my gosh, I get emotional just seeing some of that video, some of those folks who have been impacted by this. We are teaming up with the Bank of Sun Prairie today to donate all of the proceeds from our phone bank to a disaster relief fund. And I've got 8 volunteers here with me now, and they all live or work in Sun Prairie, so this means just a little bit more to them. Now, where does all of this money go? It stays local. It's going to benefit the families impacted by the blast, including the family of Corey Barr. That's the firefighter who was killed in the explosion. The money is also going toward places like the Sunshine Place and the Sun Prairie Emergency Food Pantry. Our phone lines are open right now, and they're going to stay open until 10:30 through our last evening newscast. The number to call, 608-274-4000. At last count, get this, you guys, we are up to $78,000 raised so far, and we still have 6 hours left. So give us a call, help make Sun Prairie stronger. That number, again, 608-274-4000. Charlotte and Mark.
Bye.
Pretty amazing numbers.
Yep, thanks for the update, Leah, and thank you to all the volunteers who are here now and those who were here earlier today.
And we now go to Amanda Quintana. She is live in Sun Prairie to share how the money will be used. Amanda?
Yeah, so as Leah mentioned, the Disaster Relief Fund, that money is going to stay local in the community. 2 of the organizations that will benefit from that, the Emergency Food Pantry and Sunshine Place here. And the Emergency Food Pantry is actually located inside of Sunshine Place. Now you can see they are getting ready for a mobile food pantry here tonight. It starts at 5 o'clock. Sunshine Place says the #1 priority for them right now is to secure housing for the families who lost their homes in the blast. They have a list of 51 addresses that were impacted. I've been working with 31 of those families. And as of today, 3 of the families have signed leases for a new place. Now, the deposit and the first month's rent, that was paid with money from the Disaster Relief Fund.
Our case managers are working with private landlords in the community who have stepped up and said, we are willing to work with these families. Our case managers are then working with the families to identify, is this a good fit? Is this within what your family needs?
Once the families are settled in a home, the food pantry expects to see more people coming in needing food and items like soap and shampoo. But right now, they don't have anywhere to store those items. Now, before the explosion, the pantry was helping up to 40 families a day, expecting that to increase in the coming weeks. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Sunshine Place is working with 31 of those 51 families that were impacted by the explosion. So they're really looking to track down the rest of those families, those 20 families, to find out what they need and if the resources here can help them. So if you are one of those families, or if you're a landlord that thinks you can help find them a place to live, you're asked to call Sunshine Place. Now that number is at the bottom of your screen. That is 608-514-6210.
an amazing resource for the community. Amanda Quintana reporting live in Sun Prairie. Thank you.
The process of rebuilding downtown Sun Prairie is on hold right now as the investigation continues. The site of the tragedy is bringing many residents of Sun Prairie together. News 3's Susan Simon joins us near the site right now. Susan?
In Sun Prairie on a day like today, 1 week after the explosion, as people here are hearing the news about the amount of money that has been donated by people that they don't know and will probably never know. It's been emotional, it's been overwhelming. There has been so much gratitude to each and every one of you who has donated to the telethon today, because a lot of progress has been made, but there is still a long way to go. You know, this community of 35,000 people this week has sort of been like a giant cul-de-sac. Everyone is united. Everywhere I have gone today, everybody asks me the same thing. What do you need? What can I do? How can I help? And someone who is justifiably very proud of this community is the mayor of Sun Prairie, Paul Esser. Paul, thank you. Good to see you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. It's nice to see you.
How are you doing a week after this?
Well, I think we're coming to grips with it. We needed to get through the funeral. That was the significant part. We needed to say goodbye to Corey. Now we're watching out for his widow and family. That's the next thing. And now we are beginning to move on and looking at what's next in this community.
What can you tell us about what's next? Do you have an update for us on the investigation and where things stand?
The investigation, the police are doing a death investigation, and I believe they're getting close to wrapping that up. I don't know if they've done that yet, but they're getting close. When they're done, then we will hear of it from them. But to me, the big issue is getting the road reopened. The road is right here. It's Highway 19, major artery through the city, and it's got a hole in it where the explosion took place. Department of Transportation is coming out here Thursday evening at 5:30, going to have a public meeting with us at City Hall, talk about the process they will need to go through to evaluate what should be done, and then maybe develop a timeline, and then have an opportunity for people to come in and ask questions as to the next step.
Can you possibly put into words how it feels to see this tsunami of love and support from the surrounding community for everyone here?
Isn't this a special place?
Yes.
We have seen this since Tuesday, since this started. The people have been coming in with water and food and cards and blankets, and now donating money. The money has been so generously provided by people in this community that are only touched by what they see. They don't even know the family, and they don't know the people that have been displaced in the businesses. Still, they're offering their support. They want to be part of what's going on in this community.
It has been so moving and inspiring. Mayor, you're doing something right in Sun Prairie.
We're a lucky place, I think. I'm very pleased.
Thank you so much for joining us.
You're
Continued
welcome.
Success and best of luck.
Thank
in
you.
The days to come. Great to see you. So Charlotte, a lot to be proud of in this community, but still a lot of work ahead. And when we come back in just a little while to sort of put in perspective what some business owners are facing here, we're going to talk to the owner of Salvatore's Tomato Pies. Patrick DePula was in the middle of dinner service on Tuesday night, a packed restaurant, when they had to drop everything and leave. So he's going to join us coming up at about 4:45.
Great. Thank you, Susan.
Sun Prairie's police chief says that he cannot think of a tougher day or a more impressive response in his community. Chief Pat Anhalt says he was just blocks away from the explosion when it happened 1 week ago. He says he has grown up in Sun Prairie his whole life and says the intersection of Main and Bristol Streets is a crossroads to Sun Prairie. It's very hard. Anhalt says he can't thank the community enough for their support.
We're so thankful more lives weren't lost. We're so thankful that the injured firefighters and the injured police officers are doing okay. And we're so thankful that we have an opportunity to move forward. And we're so thankful that the community is with us on this path.
Chief Anhalt says there are 22 residents and 56 people displaced from the explosion. He says the community is rebuilding, but it has a long way to go. If you drive around Sun Prairie this week, it is pretty hard to miss the support from the community in the aftermath of the explosion.
There are signs everywhere with the message Sun Prairie Strong. Rose Schmidt is live in Sun Prairie to show us some of those kind gestures. Rose?
Hi, Mark and Charlotte. Yeah, that message of Sun Prairie Strong is just overwhelming out here. You can see flags, roses, and this memorial just continues to grow throughout the week. And we've talked to people from here in Sun Prairie, Edgerton, as far out as Rio. And one woman from Rio is actually making these Sun Prairie Strong decals that you can stick on your car or on your window. She's already made about 2,700 of them and is expecting to make 3,000 total. She told us today that she's just amazed to see how much the support has been from the community. And the physical signs showing support for firefighters and law enforcement are hard to miss throughout neighborhoods, some at restaurants, and some handmade, thanking first responders for all of their hard work following that explosion. So many people want Sun Prairie decals that it's hard for Caitlin Batts to keep up with the demand.
So I'm just trying to keep up as they sell. It's going really well. I'm really happy with the turnout, and I'm so happy to see the community come together.
And being a small business owner herself, Caitlin is encouraging everyone to buy local and help support small businesses in the area that have since reopened. Now, if you want to buy one of these awesome decals, you can go visit Caitlin tonight at the DeForest Farmers Market, and she's selling them for about $7. And coming up on News 3 at 5, we will hear from a little boy here in town and some of the kind gestures that he's doing for first responders.
People helping people. Rose Schmidt reporting live in Sun Prairie. Thank you.
There are a couple of other fundraisers happening today in Sun Prairie. One taking place right now is at the Culvers there in Sun Prairie. It is donating half of its sales today to the family of Captain Corey Barr, the firefighter killed last Tuesday, who leaves behind a wife and twin 3-year-old daughters, and Ryan Welch, the other Sun Prairie firefighter who was injured in the explosion. Abby Barr and Ryan Welch stopped by the restaurant today to have lunch together. Here's a picture of the two and family members sharing a meal. Once again, 50% of all sales today will go to both the Barr and Welch families. Culver's is located on Main Street in Sun Prairie, and they will be open until midnight.
Glass Nickel Pizza on Madison's east side is donating 10% of sales tonight to help victims of the explosion. The Sun Prairie Glass Nickel was demolished during last Tuesday's explosion. Of the donated money, half will go to the Barr family. The rest will go to others in need. You can visit the east side location or donate online at Glass Nickel's website. And the movie theater in Sun Prairie also donating half of all popcorn sale proceeds tomorrow to the Sun Prairie Disaster Relief Fund. It's located on Hepner Road. We have more information about other fundraisers in the area online at channel3000.com. And again, if you want to donate right now without leaving your home, just call 608-274-4000. All the money, as we say, will stay in Sun Prairie. The phone lines are open from now until 10:30 tonight. You can also donate online at channel3000.com.
The community alone in Sun Prairie is phenomenal, the banding together and everything, but as much as that almost seems like natural, it's everybody else in the surrounding communities who have come to help, not just the firemen and the police and all that, it's the community, the people. They've really taken this so personally.
Fitchburg police are talking to people tonight about the increase of violence in their community. On Monday night, a man was shot on Anton Drive off Verona Road. Last Thursday, a 29-year-old man was shot near Leopold Elementary. And then around the corner, someone fired shots at an apartment on Leopold Way. Earlier last week, someone fired shots into a group of people on Thurston Lane. Fitchburg police are holding 2 community meetings to talk about those cases and any concerns people living there might have. The first is happening tonight at 6:30 at the Fairways Apartments office on Traceway Drive. The second is tomorrow night at the Head Start Center on Red Arrow Trail. The police chief will be there to outline the department's plan to make the neighborhood safer. Madison Mayor Paul Soglin announced Tuesday he will not seek re-election in April 2019. Soglin, who is Madison's longest-serving mayor, said he wants to give candidates for mayor the time and space to make their case to the voters. Soglin is a candidate for the Democratic nomination for governor. That primary is August 14th. Stocks rose on Wall Street as retailers and smaller companies' stocks were higher. The Dow Industrials gained 55 points to close at 25,119. The NASDAQ Composite Index added 49, and the S&P 500 was up 11.
Well, lighten things up a little bit now. We're definitely in the middle of the grilling season, and there's nothing better than a good steak on the grill, but they can get a bit pricey. Angie Horkin from the Wisconsin Beef Council is here with some more affordable but no less tasty cuts of steak.
Exactly. I thought we'd talk economical steak cuts.
Everybody's looking at their budget these days.
Right, and if you're looking at maybe a kind of a non-traditional cut, if you've been grilling all summer like I have, I've got 2 cuts that will work on the grill. You just need to plan ahead.
Okay.
Because you want to marinate them, and you're going to marinate them for tenderness. So
Yeah.
you want to marinate overnight.
Yeah,
I always marinate 24 hours.
Yeah, that's what you get when it's a little less expensive, not quite as tender.
Exactly.
All right, so what do we got?
That's the payoff. So I have chuck eye steaks. Now, some
Never heard
people
of that.
throw these right on the grill. They are a little more tender just than a traditional chuck steak, but I still like to marinate them. And this recipe is really fun because you use 3-ingredient marinade, and it's very flavorful. Molasses, Worcestershire, and then balsamic vinegar.
That's it.
So that's it. And then you can marinate it, or you can just brush your chuck eyes right on the grill with this.
They probably will grill up okay.
They will grill up, yeah, they will. Now, these steaks, too, if you're the kind of person who likes it a little more well done, you might want to avoid these. You want to have these a little pink in the middle, so you can keep some of that juiciness in there and that tenderness. But if you were going to go to well done or more,
get ready to chew.
Just be careful, right? So then that's our marinated chuck steaks with this a caramelized onion and pine nuts and some fresh red pepper and a little more balsamic vinegar in there to keep the same flavors, and then fresh basil.
Smells
so
great.
Caramelized onions.
Okay.
Then top round steak. Now top round steak you definitely need to marinate.
Yeah,
of course.
that you're going to have to tenderize.
Yes. So I always marinate in a Ziploc bag for 24 hours because top round steak is like one of the leanest cuts, eye round and top round. So with the leanness is you're missing that marbling, and the marbling is the internal flecks of fat that give it its tenderness, its juiciness, and its flavor.
Okay, so overnight.
Overnight, but this marinade is awesome. It's actually a homemade pesto. So make with your food processor or your blender. So you start with arugula, 2 huge cups of arugula, and then some pine nuts, garlic, lemon juice, grated lemon peel, of course, and then drizzle in your olive oil to make a really nice pesto. And that's going to be double duty. So you put about 1/4 cup in with your steak, and then save the rest to serve. And then use your meat thermometer and grill these to about 135 degrees, so nice and pink in the middle, and then slice it. And the one top round this size will serve a whole family.
Yeah, that's a
So
lot.
for very economical
And then
price.
you have a tomato.
Like a tomato vodka puree.
That's
so
good.
you could use fresh tomatoes out of the garden and cook them down for about 10 minutes with some yellow onion, and then add about 1/4 cup of vodka, let them simmer another 10 minutes, and then you can serve your top round steak on that. It looks really fancy. A little bit of fresh pesto on top, but you have a really, really economical meal.
A great way to dress them up.
Great way to dress them up.
Recipes online.
Beeftips.com is our website. Click right on the homepage As Seen on TV. You'll find these, plus a lot of other great grilling tips and grilling recipes. And then, of course, social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube.
Can't wait to dig
Instagram.
in. Ange, thanks.
You're welcome.
We'll see you soon, and we'll be right back. Don't go away.
Take a look at this. This Chinese man is showing off a pretty cool stunt. He spent more than 18 months practicing this rope stunt. He was inspired by a video last year where a performer failed the same challenge.
Yikes.
He has to walk upside down through hanging ropes and crossing a distance of 13 meters without stopping. The man even made himself a special pair of metal shoes for this effort. You need your ankles to hook onto the rope, and while climbing the slope, your feet and body need to bend to maximize your strength. Just another day.
That's a good for you award.
Yeah, good for you.
That was a good one.
Who came up with that?
All right, so it is Tuesday, July 17th. It is Yellow Pigs Day.
Now, the sum of the first 4 prime numbers, 2, 3, 5, and 7, is 17. 17 itself is also a prime number, and according to some studies, if people are asked to pick a number between 1 and 20, they're actually likely to choose 17. I was frustrated yesterday when Prime Day was not on a prime number day. And that's why I got this story today.
So it's the 17th. So
yes.
Okay.
The math guy got that one.
Yes.
It's also World Emoji Day. There you go.
Yeah.
This is fitting.
Apple got a jump start a day early, previewing some of its 70 new iOS emojis yesterday. This year's additions include superheroes, lobsters. There's also a lot of hairstyle variations, including curly hair, red hair, gray hair, and no hair. There's a gaggle of new animal and food emojis as well. I like the little party guy.
Uh-huh.
Well, this is sort of like the one you have.
No, mine's...
Oh, there was kale.
Was there kale?
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh, I gotta bring that back into my diet. Okay, so it is also National Tattoo Day. Tattoos date back thousands of years. Evidence of humans marking their bodies with permanent designs have been found on ice and Egyptian mummies. More recently, the trend of getting inked has been on the rise as tattoo technology and acceptance have increased. All right, do either of you have any tats?
I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, you'll never know.
Remember,
I
don't.
They're forever.
Yes.
Because I've never been able
I'll get
to
that
decide.
tattooed. How about that?
So I never got one.
All right, fun.
Tattoos make Charlotte do that.
This one. Yes,
this is too much fun.
This is too much fun. All right.
So go ahead. What do you have to say?
Wait a minute. Is the forecast this or this?
It's more like that. It's that one right there, because we have some nice weather with still low humidity on the way for tomorrow, but storm chances right around the corner. Your first alert forecast is next. Good afternoon. I hope you're having a great Tuesday so far. This weather has been terrific on this Tuesday across much of the upper Midwest. Not dealing with any clouds, really, just some fair weather cumulus popping up on visible cloud track during the afternoon hours. Any storms are well off to the south and west, closer to southwestern portions of Iowa, and that's where they're staying. We're not dealing with any storms today or tomorrow, but into Thursday, that becomes a little bit of a different story where Doppler track could be a little bit more active across southern Wisconsin. Now, rain totals so far for this month in Madison, 1.6 inches of rain, only about 0.3 of an inch in Milwaukee, and just over 2 inches in La Crosse. That is pretty far behind schedule for some of us like Milwaukee, about 1.5 inches behind where we should be for this time of July, and about 0.5 inch to 3/4 of an inch in Madison. And if you're a fan of the dry weather, a couple of shower chances will come our way over the next couple of weeks, but that's about it. Not really looking at a very rainy month like we saw in May and June, but we could use a little bit of a break, I think, across southern Wisconsin. Check out this time lapse in Madison. We can see a very nice sunrise on the WISC-TV Skycam. Saw those sunny skies early this afternoon, and some fair weather cumulus clouds have popped up. They're not going to cause any trouble, just to maybe shift the light a little bit in the sky. Here's a live look in Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam. Currently at 80 degrees, north-northwest wind at 6 miles per hour. That dew point a very comfortable 54 right now. Some other temperatures. Some have not made it into the 80s, but that's okay because it's still very pleasant weather. Some spectacular summer weather across the area this afternoon. 75 in Juneau, 78 in Watertown, 80 in Monroe, 81 in Mineral Point, and 84 in Boscobel. Dew points are comfortably in the mid-50s, even some 40s showing up closer to the Dells and Black River Falls. This is air that you can't wear, and you don't want to because you just want to be outside in this air. So a very pleasant evening and great sleeping weather on the way once again tonight. July temperatures have been basically almost all above average when you consider the average temperature being the high and the low kind of combined. So the 6th and 7th were the only days so far where that number came in below average, and our high temperature trend actually showing a little bit more below average temperature weather on the way for tomorrow. Today's high of 80 is actually a little bit below normal, and Thursday and Friday we're in the 70s. And if you're a fan of this cooler than average weather, it looks like it's going to continue into the end of this month. The 8 to 14 day temperature outlook looking like below average temperatures and also below average precipitation. So some sunny days and some maybe a little bit cooler than typical weather on the way. Future track showing high pressure continuing to have the reins of this weather forecast for the next couple of days, but then our next low pressure system on the way from the south and west. We can see on Thursday those showers setting up into southwestern portions of our viewing area. I think later in the day on Thursday days, they're tough sometimes. That's when we start to get those showers and thunderstorms in here. Tonight, 56. Tomorrow, 80. Partly sunny and continued warm. Future track showing things staying pretty quiet tonight. Not a lot of clouds around, so we do have those temperatures tumbling rapidly into the mid-50s to start Wednesday. A few more clouds around compared to today, but still temperatures getting close to 80. And then Thursday, those showers setting up closer to Minnesota and Iowa. During the afternoon and evening hours, that's when they start to move into southern Wisconsin. Our precipitation potential not too bad as we head into Saturday. Only about 3/4 to an inch of rain expected from these showers and thunderstorms. 7-day forecast showing temperatures in the low 80s by the time we head into Saturday. That's when our slight storm chances leave us early on Saturday. Then we're in the 80s Sunday and Monday, but back into the 70s into the middle of next week.
After all those 90s and the humidity,
yeah,
that doesn't look too bad.
This for
doesn't look bad at all. All right, Dave, thank you. All right, let's go to Leah Lynchite. She's back in the telethon phone bank. Leah.
Hello, yes, hello from the News 3 Sun Prairie Strong phone bank here. We are up to $78,000 and counting. So join us donate to those relief efforts. That number to call right there on your screen at 608-274-4000. Now, joining me now is Steve Turner. You are the owner of Willie Ties in Sun Prairie. You have been instrumental in raising money and support for this community, starting with your own fundraiser at your restaurant. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we asked the community to come out on Saturday, and 20% of all sales were going to be donated to the fund, and we raised over $800, so it was a great time.
And you have graciously decided to donate that money to our phone bank here, so that's just another donation going toward those families impacted by the explosion that we're helping with today's efforts. And I really want to talk about how you helped organize even parts of our phone bank, rallying volunteers to get here, dozens of them. Clearly this is near and dear to your heart. Why is that?
Yeah, you just try to help. You try to help the best way you can, and you know, Facebook's a powerful tool. Put it out to all our friends, and we have a good following at Willie Ties and our other restaurant in Verona, and we got a lot of volunteers, so it was awesome. I was real happy to help.
Of the 72 volunteers, easily half of them, thanks to this man right here. How did that feel when you got that call that the volunteer shifts filled up within an hour of you putting that Facebook post out there? How did that feel?
You know, you just feel good that people support you and support the community. I mean, Sun Prairie's a great small town, and you know, it just has that small town feel, even though we're still growing. And everybody just wants to get involved. I can't tell you how many phone calls I've received for people to say, how can I help? How can I help? How can I help? So it's just been that way.
And we can't thank you enough for everything you've done, those $800, all of these volunteers, all of this effort, in large part because of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, here is the number for you to call if you are inspired by Steve's story. Help us raise money for the people impacted by that explosion. Your money is going to stay in Sun Prairie. It's going to go to the Disaster Relief Fund at the Bank of Sun Prairie, and that's going toward the families impacted. Now, phone lines are open until 10:30 tonight, so you have several hours left here. You can also donate online at channel3000.com.
It makes us feel really good to know that there's so many people that care, even people that don't have the history here, that they would be here for us and help us all stay strong.
There's the place to be on a Tuesday afternoon. Memorial Union Terrace, Lake Mendota, beautiful Tuesday afternoon.
It's gorgeous. Well, this has been a challenging week for the business community in Sun Prairie.
Police confirmed 6 businesses and 1 residence were destroyed in the explosion, but some business owners are still waiting to be allowed back in. Let's rejoin our Susan Simon, who is live in Sun Prairie. Susan.
Hi, Mark and Charlotte. You know, a week after the explosion, the extent of the damage is still evolving. It's still being evaluated. 6 businesses, as you mentioned, have been destroyed, but many others in the downtown business district have not even been able to go inside yet to sort of assess what's left and to see what, if any, damage they're facing when they do. It's going to be a very long road back. You take one look behind me and you can see that for sure. One of those businesses is Salvatore's Tomato Pies. The owner is Patrick DePula. Patrick, good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Susan. We're happy to be here.
Tell us a little bit about what happened Tuesday night.
So Tuesday night, I got a call from one of my employees. I was just up the street. I had just left the building, and they smelled gas in the building. So came back to the building and walked in and immediately smelled gas. So I was just about to call the fire department. Noticed they were rolling up the street already in front of the building. So went outside and I asked, what's going on, guys? And they told me, they asked me if we smelled gas in the building. And I said yes, and they asked us to evacuate immediately.
A firefighter
yes, the
asked
firefighter,
you to evacuate. Mm-hmm. So you're at capacity. It's the busiest time of the year. The restaurant is full.
Yep.
And what did you do? Ask everyone
to
leave?
We started asking everyone to leave. The chief was actually in the building, helping us evacuate the building at the time. So it was pretty orderly and efficient. And then we made another sweep through the building, made sure the ovens were off, that sort of thing. And yeah.
Everyone dropped their dinner, dropped their wine glasses, and just got outside.
Exactly.
And what happened next?
And then what happened next is, we walked out of the building, and our staff and our customers were on the sidewalk in front of Elite Embroidery, and that's when the bar house exploded. Yes.
So how far away were you from it?
We were like half a block. Yeah, like 4 buildings away. So.
Can you describe what that was like?
Yeah,
Are you still in shock?
It was just kind of it's one of those things that's super hard to describe because in my memory. It didn't seem as loud as you would think it would be, but you felt the concussion, and you could see the shockwave. The air shimmered as the shockwave came toward. Debris flew over our building and bounced off of Elite next and rained down on people that were on the sidewalk. So, and that's, it was unbelievable.
Surreal. Mm-hmm. Have you been able to go back inside your restaurant?
We've been able to go back in a couple times to grab personal items for employees, to grab some things that are necessary for payroll, that sort of thing.
What did you see when you first went inside?
When we first went in, it was just as if it reminded me of Pompeii, like
frozen in time.
Like you could see like little vignettes of like a Wiki Sticks project that a kid was making while their parents were eating. Drinks around the table, tables were set. You could see menus and placemats and water, so someone had just sat down. Eyeglasses, personal items, phones, that sort of thing. So it was just kind of surreal, especially with no power on and it being dark and quiet.
We've talked a lot about the generosity and selflessness in this community. In the midst of all of that chaos, I understand you and your employees served food for Corey Barr's memorial service.
Yep.
How did you do that?
Through the generosity of others. Obviously we don't have a functioning kitchen in Sun Prairie right now, so we were able to leverage some of our partners to help donate things. The Oaks Golf Course came through, and Glass Nickel as well. So, everyone had a role, but we were able to get some meat donated by our friends at Fox Heritage Farms.
That's what it's all about.
Yep.
Will you reopen?
Absolutely.
I hope
absolutely.
so. It's the best pizza I ever had in my life.
Thank you.
Patrick DePula, great to see you. Best of luck in the coming days. Thank you so much
Thanks very
for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. Patrick said this has been a very scary moment for him and his team. His payroll is coming up. His insurance still hasn't kicked in. He's still recovering from flood damage he had in the restaurant in May. So, it's a devastating domino effect, and it sort of puts in perspective, these are not businesses, they're not buildings, they're people. And it's going to be a very long way to go. So that's why your support is so important, and it will mean so much to people like Patrick and his team. Tonight at 5, we're going to sit down with more of the real heroes of this story, the first responders and the firefighters from the Sun Prairie Fire Department who are dealing with unimaginable grief and trying to get back to work to serve this community. So that's coming up tonight at 5. We'll send it back to you for now.
Susan, we'll see you then. There are a lot of heroes involved in all of this.
Susan, thanks.
And yesterday, police emphasized the importance of monetary donations in helping Sun Prairie move forward.
Which is why we are holding a Sun Prairie Strong Telethon right now. All you have to do is call 608-274-4000 to make your donation or visit channel3000.com. We'll have more on today's efforts to help our neighbors in need next at 4.
Good afternoon. Here is your Tuesday afternoon first alert traffic update, taking a live look at the Beltline and Stoughton Road. No major problems showing up in both directions at this point. No major accidents or incidents to report across Dane County, but we are seeing those normal slowdowns in the Beltline in both directions. Average speed right in that midsection of about 25 to 30 miles per hour. Here are some drive times for you to put in your FYI bank. We can see Verona Road to John Nolan Drive. That's 11 minutes, an average speed of around 25 miles per hour. In the other direction, not looking too bad except for that same section. John Nolan to Verona Road westbound, that's 13 minutes, an average speed of around 20 miles per hour. And that is your first alert traffic update.
All right, Dave, thank you.
We're going to go to our Sun Prairie Strong Phone Bank right now and check in with Leah Lynch.
She's been spending time with our volunteers all afternoon long. Leah, what's the latest?
So we want to give you an update from the telethon. Right now we are at over $80,000 and counting, and we still have, what, 5 hours left? That's an incredible show of support for this community. Behind me, you see 8 volunteers. They all live or work in Sun Prairie. That's how important this effort is to them. Almost all of our 72 volunteers are from the Sun Prairie area, work there, know someone who works there, or are from the surrounding area. So this is really important to the folks who are working these phones as well. Now, a reminder, all of this money stays local. It's going to the families impacted, along with some local organizations that are offering support. Again, here is that number for you to call. It's 608-274-4000. $4,000. Help us keep Sun Prairie strong. I can't say that enough. Your money is going to stay in that community. It's going to make a real difference. It's going to go to the families of the firefighter who was killed, Corey Barr, and also Ryan Welch. He was the firefighter who was injured. Again, phone lines are open until 10:30. You can also donate online at channel3000.com. The phone number right there on your screen. Stay with us.
I know how the people are close-knit, you know what I'm saying? They all stick together, they all go to school. Sun Prairie is a small town. Everybody went to school together or know each other of some sort, you know? So, you know, right now everybody's just trying to just widen their arms and just big hugs for everybody. And everybody just stand strong and just being for each other, that's it.
What a beautiful evening.
Yes, another great night to leave those windows open if that's your thing, because we have low humidity in town and it stays with us into tomorrow. Here's a live look in Platteville on our Queen Bee Radio Skycam at the mostly sunny skies. Temperatures are right around 80 degrees all across southern Wisconsin, but the dew points very low. Very comfortable air in town. Maybe a little bit more humid in Platteville, but still tolerable for this time of year. This evening, mostly clear and pleasantly cool with temperatures falling through the 80s and 70s into the mid 60s. Your day planner for tomorrow starting off in the 50s, but we'll reach highs once again near 80 degrees, maybe a few more clouds tomorrow. And then those storm chances start to go up once again on Thursday and Friday.
Enjoy while you can.
Yes.
All right, Dave, thank you.
On the next Live at 4, our gourmet dietitian has some great no-cook summer recipes for us.
And we'll see how Levi's Jeans and other companies are using computers to design and make clothes more quickly. We'll be right back. Just a reminder, our Sun Prairie Strong Telethon is underway right now. We are at more than $80,000 donated. Thank you, everyone. All of this money stays local. It's going to the families